Do you love soft, fluffy eggs that just melt in your mouth? Well, then you're gonna love Korean steamed eggs called DalGal. And all you need is a spoonful of this Korean steamed eggs with warm Korean rice and kimchi on top, and it will literally take you to food heaven. Having it chilled is also really good too. It almost tastes like firm tofu, but definitely more tastier. This is delicious, especially during hot summer months. Chilled, soft egg that just melts in your mouth. Bon appetit! 오늘의 레시피. 간단하고 맛있는 달걀찜 만들기. 오늘도 여러분들과 영어로 함께 하겠습니다. But it tastes so good. So good. Hi everyone, this is Helen and welcome to Modern Pepper. 안녕하세요, Modern Pepper의 헬렌입니다. So here I have 6 eggs and our 6th egg. And then just mix with a whisk. Whisk until your eggs are fully whipped and mixed well. And to this we're gonna add half a cup of water and we're gonna add a 1/4 cup of milk. And then we have 찹쌀가루, which is sweet white rice flour. We have 1 teaspoon. We're gonna add it to our milk. And then we're just gonna mix the 찹쌀가루 with our milk. Now, if you don't have 찹쌀가루, you can use white all-purpose flour instead. So mix well. And then we're gonna add it to our egg. And then we're gonna whisk again for about good 30 seconds. And here is a fine mesh strainer, and then we're gonna pour our egg mixture into our fine mesh strainer, like so. Just shake it a little bit. On top, you just wanna kinda push this around to extract as much of the egg as possible. So the reason for doing this filtering is to make sure that our egg comes out really smooth and fluffy when we steam it in the pot. So whatever that doesn't break through our fine mesh strainer, we're just gonna discard. And then we have a 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. You wanna use the best sea salt you have. And then to this, we're gonna also add a 1/4 teaspoon of 소고기 Dashida. That's beef bouillon powder. If you don't have that, you could use yandu. If not, add a pinch of MSG. And then just mix in our 소고기 Dashida and salt. Don't worry if the beef Dashida powder doesn't dissolve fully right now, because as it steams, it's all gonna dissolve into our egg mixture. And then we have 1 scallion finely minced that we're gonna add. And I have 1 tablespoon of finely minced carrots. This part's optional. I'm gonna add some imitation crab, and we'll be using about 35 grams of imitation crab. When it comes to imitation crab, this is my favorite brand, Jjim. You could find this at the freezer section at your Korean supermarket. And this is my favorite brand because you hold both ends and you go like this, and it kind of unravels it on its own, and you just kind of shred it with your hands like so. And then we're gonna just finely mince our imitation crabs like so. You don't have to use imitation crab. You could also use Spam or Canadian bacon, or not use anything at all. And if that's the case, add a little bit more of salt to our egg liquid. And then we're gonna pick up and then put it in our egg liquid, like so. In a large pot filled with some water, place your metal strainer. Then I want you to take the glass container that we're gonna steam our egg in and make sure there's enough water. So I'm gonna add a little more water because we want the water line to come up to just slightly under half of this glass container. So we're gonna add a little more water. It all depends on the size of the pot you're using. Once the water level is about halfway, make sure it's under halfway, not over halfway. Take the container out because we're gonna use that to fill with our egg. Place the lid, set your heat to high, and make sure the water is boiling before we add our egg container. To our heat-proof container that we're going to use to steam, we're going to add just a little bit of oil. I'm using extra virgin olive oil, so use any oil of your choice. You could use sesame oil too, but if you do, I would mix half with regular oil, because sesame oil could be really overpowering, especially when you introduce it to high temperature. And then we're going to pour this into our bowl like so. Then swirl it around a couple times like that. And then we're gonna put it in our pot of boiling water. Okay, so now that our water's boiling, we're gonna bring down our heat to medium, and we're gonna carefully place our egg on the steamer basket, and we're gonna put our lid on it, and we're gonna come back in 10 minutes at medium heat. Okay, so it has been 10 minutes since our egg has been steaming away at medium heat, and now we're just gonna turn it off completely and let this continue to steam and rest inside the pot. And I want to emphasize, do not lift the lid. Leave it as is and do not even think about peeking. So 5 minutes of steaming in the pot with no heat on. All right, so it's been 5 minutes. Let's take a look. Ooh la la. All right, so let's quickly take this out, and this is ready to be eaten. Ooh. There you go. And all you need to do at this point is add a little bit of sesame seed with salt, gesogum on top, and a tiny drizzle of sesame oil on top, 참기름, and it's done. So if you want to have your steamed egg chilled and also cut into perfect blocks, we're gonna put a piece of parchment paper, line our glass container, and what I want you to do is this corner, I want you to just pick up the corner like this and just fold it over like that. Same thing, this corner, do the same thing right here. Put your finger down right here at this corner and lift up your parchment paper and just fold right over where the corner is, and then just pull it back like that. And then we're just gonna trim the excess while keeping my hand down to hold the parchment in its place. You could also have your egg chilled and not do this part and just cook it the way we cooked it before, and just, you know, pick up a big dollop of the steamed egg once it chills. But this is only if you want to make a perfect cut blocks of chilled steamed egg. We're gonna add a light coating of oil on the inside to lubricate our parchment paper. And then we're gonna add our egg mixture on top. And just like how we cooked the other one, we added our egg to a pot of boiling water, cover it with the lid, turn down the heat to medium, and cook this for 10 minutes. And 10 minutes later, we're gonna turn off our heat completely and let this rest for another 5 minutes. Do not open the lid. All right, let's take a look. Depending on the power of your stove, you might need to steam it a little longer, but how do you know if this is ready? You could tell by taking your chopstick and then you put it through the center, and your chopstick should come out clean. And you could also tap it too. Same kind of firmness as here and in the middle as well. So that's how you could tell if it's ready. If this part here feels more liquidy or your chopstick comes out a little bit not clean, put the lid back on and let it steam for another 5 minutes on medium heat and check again. And then we're gonna let this rest on your kitchen counter and bring it to room temperature. And once it comes to room temperature, put it in your fridge and let it chill completely. So once the egg has cooled down, all you have to do is literally lift to take it out, and you don't even need to flip it over because look, the parchment paper makes it so easy to unstick the steamed egg. Now you could cut it into any shape you want, but I'm just gonna cut it into 4 blocks so I can show you the inside. All the crab meat's on the bottom. If you want to get really kind of fancy, cut the edges off so you have a straight edge, and you could cut them into sections like that, and then you could put it on a plate like that, kind of make it pretty, and that's it. So let's go in for a big spoonful. Oh yeah. Ooh, look at that. Jiggle, wiggle, jiggle, wiggle. It will literally dissipate in your mouth. It's so cushiony and soft. I'm like gulping in my mouth right now, sorry. See? You scrape and eat everything on the bottom. And then what I like to do is put it over my Korean rice and just like mash it up, break it up. Oh, look at that. Look at the inside. Oh, don't miss out. This is not something you want to miss out on life. And then what I would do is just go in for a spoonful. And of course, we have to have kimchi with it, right? So with kimchi, it just takes it to another level. Warm Korean rice with our steamy, fluffy, melt in your mouth goodness egg. That is a bite full. So let me feed you. Open your mouth, say ah, bon appetit. This is another big spoonful, but I can do it, I can do it. So delicious. The eggs, it dissipates in my mouth. It's so cushiony, it's so comforting, and like for me, the saltiness is perfect. Some families make it on the saltier side. So it is totally up to you if you want to make it saltier or less salty than me. Let's also taste the chilled one. So I love having it chilled like this, especially during the summer months. It just tastes a little bit different because it's firm, but it tastes so good. So good. I don't know why, but the chilled one, you could taste more of the imitation crab meat. It tastes very seafood-like. I love it. I love it. But if you're not into imitation crab, you could use Spam, Canadian bacon, or just don't add anything, you know? Wow, this is so good. Wait, don't go anywhere. Make sure to go to youtube.com/modernpepper. Click on that playlist tab and you'll see my banchan Korean side dishes recipe playlist. And I also have a recipe on the clay pot steamed eggs called ttukbaegi-gyeranjjim. I will see you there so we can make more Korean food together. All right, I want to thank everyone for watching today, and if you enjoyed watching today's video, I would kindly appreciate it if you would click on that thumbs up icon. Doing so supports my channel tremendously, so I want to thank you in advance, and make sure to subscribe. 여러분 오늘 재밌게 보셨으면 꼭 좋아하는 버튼과 구독 버튼도 꼭 눌러주세요. 감사합니다. 다음 비디오에서 꼭 뵙겠습니다. All right, folks, I will see you in one of the videos you see right here.